welcome to Thursday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where with some trepidation but absolute admiration, I am going to take a look at a puzzle called Diagonality by the Book Wyrm. And, well, this one has been recommended to us. It's actually defeated one of the testers who looked at it. But it is on Logic Masters Germany. It's got a whopping high rating over there. 5 stars out of 5 for difficulty. Some wonderful, wonderful comments. And I've read the rules of this, and it's quite astonishing. This is an absolutely astonishing construction. And apparently, again, it's part of this series of puzzles that Skojo has been arranging, where people impersonate the styles of other setters. Now, I understand that the Book Wyrm was impersonating the style of Justin Vitanza, Vitamins, if I'm not mistaken. Vitamins is the pseudonym that Justin goes under, and that may be true. But the basic conceit here, I mean, we'll do the rules properly, but every diagonal contains at most 3 different digits in this puzzle. And then these lines have to contain a consecutive series of digits. And that's it. There is no other rule apart from Sudoku. I mean, that's astonishing, isn't it? That something that looks so regular, it looks like a sort of Catherine wheel, has a unique solution with 4 givens. What? What? I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. It has got 5 stars though, so I'm quite sure it's not going to be straightforward to solve it. But I am sort of lost in admiration at how it exists in the first place. Anyway, before we get into the puzzle in too much detail, let's talk about some things that are going on in the world of puzzling. Firstly, there was a bonus video this morning. Mark attempted a new puzzle actually by Jane Street. Lots of you have been looking at that video already. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's got a really cool puzzle in it. It's not a Sudoku puzzle. It's sort of a farming puzzle, but it's got some really nice logic in it. And I enjoy watching Mark's video, so I think you might as well. So I'll try and remember to put a link on the screen to that one. On Tuesday, we've got a bonus video, which is me having a look at Nikoli's new website and doing a few puzzles from there, so definitely have a look at that. Nikoli is the Japanese puzzling company that invented things like Sudoku back in the day, so you know we owe Nikoli an awful lot. Now, other than that, yesterday we finally released the new worms. Have I got them? Yeah, I've got the worms here. These are our 2 new apps. So we've released worms in the past. We've released worms, which are basically collections of Sudoku puzzles by specific authors. So we released Marty Sears' worm. We released James Sinclair's worm. Yesterday we released Phistomefel's worm, and can I show you? Should be able to. Juggler's worm as well. Michael Lefkowitz. So get on over to wherever you get your apps and download those, because they are fantastic treats. We're already getting some absolutely brilliant feedback, and as I said yesterday, I just hope that you enjoy playing those puzzles as much as Mark and I enjoyed testing them. If there is any sort of commonality between the levels of enjoyment, then you guys are in for an absolute treat. What else? Oh, well, the other thing is, over on Patreon, we've got our Back to the Future Sudoku hunt, which has got only 2 days left to run. Let's see where we're up to in terms of numbers now. Have we cracked yet? 927. We might get to 2,000 solves of the first puzzle, but we're over 900 solves of the final puzzle, which is fantastic. Huge kudos to Blobz for creating this pack. It really is a terrific set of puzzles. Very approachable. You can do it on one plane ride. We have that on good authority, and the prize, such as it is, will be to solve the puzzle with me. So if that might appeal, have a go. Oh yes, and next Wednesday we will begin releasing over on Patreon my attempts at solving, this is a lot of videos, a listener puzzle called Spider by Sabre, that's cryptic crossword content. We got the most wonderful email yesterday. Actually, I meant to write down the name of the person who wrote us the email. I think it began with J. It could even have been a Justin, I think. Oh, I hope. Anyway, so it was just a wonderful email from somebody who happened, the YouTube algorithm threw them up the Miracle Sudoku, and they've always done Sudoku, but they didn't know about variant Sudoku, so they found the Miracle Sudoku video. They really enjoyed that, and then they found more Cracking the Cryptic videos off the back of that, and they got really into sort of variant Sudoku, and this is quite recent. And then they thought, oh well, I might as well watch a cryptic crossword video, but English isn't their first language. But they still found those very interesting, and then became a patron, and somehow found themselves watching the listener crossword videos I did a few weeks ago, not knowing what was going on really, because the listener crossword is mad. But they wrote in and said, these are some of the best videos I've ever watched, even though they didn't really know about cryptic. And it's like, I don't get that at all, but it sort of made me feel like happy. So if it was Justin in, it might not have been. I think it was. Oh dear. But anyway, I think you're going to know. You're going to know if you're watching this video. You'll know if you wrote me that email. I really did appreciate it. Yeah, it made me feel happy. So thank you. Now, other than that, let's have a look at birthdays. I've got 2 birthdays to do today. Firstly, we'll go to Reykjavik in Iceland, of course, where Hera, what a name that is, the goddess Hera. Hera's turned 27 today, and I know this because Kristin wrote in and said, could we wish you a happy birthday and also congratulate you on your new job at MR, which I think it might be the most prestigious school in Iceland. I might be wrong about that, but I think that's true. I think that's true. So very well done on that, Hera, and I hope you have a great birthday today with, of course, a large slice of chocolate cake. And then also Mikey, it's your birthday today. I think it's your birthday actually, but your friend Z wrote in, and apparently recently Z shared a screenshot of something in a group chat, and in the corner of the screen was a paused Cracking the Cryptic video. Mikey saw it and say, hey, I watch Cracking the Cryptic as well. So that they realised they had a common interest. And Z described you, Mikey, as the coolest person ever. Although apparently you don't like cake with too much icing. So in that regard, if in only that regard, I might be just slightly cooler than you. I'm just kidding. I am actually probably, if the dictionary did define least cool person on planet Earth, I think I would probably win. My sister says I would definitely win. So anyway, I am quite jealous that you are the coolest person ever. And Mikey, I hope you have a brilliant birthday today. Now, let's do some puzzling together. Let's have a look at Diagonality. I can't say that. Diagonality by the Book Wyrm. And these are the very short rules. We have got normal Sudoku rules applying. So we've got to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3 by 3 box. Diagonality. Every diagonal contains at most 3 distinct digits. So if we pick a random diagonal, let's pick that diagonal. Actually, I could probably draw it with a line like that. So that diagonal has at most, so it might have less than that. It might only have 2 distinct. I think it must have 2 distinct digits because those digits have to be different. But because they're in the same box of the Sudoku. But it can't have more than 3. And neither, of course, can any other diagonal. Now there are some diagonals, for example that diagonal, that's definitely got 3 different digits on it because they're all in the same box. But yeah, I mean, anyway, that's a rule. And then the other rule is Renban. So it says digits on a magenta line form a set of consecutive digits in any order. So if this square was a 1, this line, because it has to be a consecutive set, has to contain the digits 1, 2, and 3 now, and they can be in any order. They are all the rules. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual, but now I get to play. Let's get cracking. Now, I'm imagining that this is a great big colouring exercise because, well, because those 3 digits are the same as those 3 digits, aren't they? And yeah, I can sort of see a thing that results from that. Yeah, if you imagine they are the digits 1, 2, and 3 on this line, then these are the digits 1, 2, and 3, because we can't have a 4th digit on a diagonal. But this digit, actually, that in that instance, because I've chosen, because I've started from a 1 here, this would have to be a 3. So maybe that's a little bit too. I've made that a bit easy on myself. Let's pick middly. Let's pick exact middly numbers there, because what the key point is that this cell can't be 5, and the reason is that if it was 5, this sort of diagonal crossing line now has to contain a set of consecutive digits, and that's going to have to include a 4 or a 6, isn't it, or both, and 4 and 6 would be unavailable on the line. So because of Sudoku, so whatever this is gets duplicated here. Yeah, and that's so in effect what's happening in this box, at least, and it's probably going to propagate, I think, is that this is going to be effectively there's a 5-cell Renban in this box, because we don't know whether this is 4 or 6. Let's just go with 4 for the sake of exposition. Now, because 5 and 6 are not available for this magenta line, this would have to be 3 and 2, wouldn't it? So this box is sort of 2 diagonals now contain the digits 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, which are a consecutive sequence of 5 digits. And then this box is going to have 2, 3, 4 on its diagonal, and this digit can't be the middle one, because again, if that was a 3, which is the middle one, the 2 and the 4 are not on the magenta line, so we can't create a consecutive sequence. So this would either be 2, actually it couldn't be 2, because 3 would be here, and this would be 1 and 0, which don't exist, so this would have to be 4, and then this would be 5 and 6, and then this would be 4, 5, 6, and that would bump round the corner here. Right, okay, so what on earth does that mean? Does that mean we do colour? Or do we letter? I don't know. I'm not sure. I think we do have to do something. And we do have to probably abandon numbers, because I think if we go with numbers, I will be tempted to use the givens, and I don't think we can do that, at least not initially. So I think we'll use letters at least at the start. Because what we were seeing as we went round the Catherine wheel there was that depending on where we start the sequence, we might run out of digits Yeah, it's because when I went 4, 5, 6, and then I went lower here, I ran out of the possibility of going lower here as well. But that might not be valid. We might have to go, whatever that is, that's a lower 3-cell sequence, and that's a lower 3-cell sequence. We just don't know. So right. So what we'll do is we'll pick middly letters to start with at least. So I can't do it. No, it won't let me. Oh, it will let me if I do that. So we'll say that these are the digits M, N, and O. So they are a sequence, M, N, and O. So N is the middle one of those. I'm just going to allege that. So this is the sequence, M, N, and O. And we now know that this can't be N, because if it was, this sequence couldn't be consecutive. So this is either M or O. Now, and we don't know which it's going to be, but it almost doesn't matter, does it? Because yeah, I don't think it matters. What we've got to do is to just establish what happens if we make this M. These digits are going to be K and L. M. So Martin Luther King. We're going to get Martin Luther King on the diagonal here. But if we made this O, we're going to get OPQ. But in effect, that's just a reversal of choosing M. M is arbitrary, because we could define the sequence as going backwards, and it would be the same result. What I'm trying, sorry, I'm not being very articulate, but what I'm trying to do is to just establish how this Catherine wheel operates. So I think we can make this M or O, and I'm going to make it M because Martin Luther King is more redolent with me, let's say, than OPQ. No, I am actually a huge... I've said this on the channel before, but Martin Luther King is sort of my hero of adult life. I studied his speeches quite a lot. I even learnt... learn off by heart some of them, I went to Atlanta on a trip a few years ago, 2018, and I went to the museum, Civil Rights Museum, and my goodness, that was moving. Anyway, I digress. This is Martin Luther King, and so this is Martin Luther King. So we've got two Martin Luther Kings. Now this can't be the middle one of Martin Luther King. So this is going to be Martin Luther King. That's L. That can't be L, because then you couldn't make the sequence, could you? Now, how does that work then? So if... So, how do we... See, that could be M again, or it could be K. Okay, so maybe this is going to get more difficult. I didn't think it was going to sort of diverge quite as quickly as this. Actually, I've just had a different thought, which I might... Let me just persevere with this for a second or two, at least. So, well, let's investigate what happens if this was a K. In other words, well, let's just see what happens. If this was a K, then these two squares would be I and J, wouldn't they? Because they couldn't be L and M. And then this would be IJK, and this couldn't be J because that's the middle one. And yeah, this is what I wanted to explore, is how does this one link up with this one? Yeah, that is a good question. Because there is a restriction there, isn't there? I don't think this can be I. Because if this was I, in fact it definitely can't be. If this is I, the sequence here, which can't include J or K, is going to go backwards. So this is going to be G and H, and then you're not going to get the MN or O digit on the diagonal. So actually that would have to be K. This has to be L. Oh, Martin Luther King again. Martin Luther King has come back again. And then that one is going to be an M, isn't it? Because this diagonal only has M, L, and K on it, so this can't be O or N. So so that's one possibility. Well, no, it is one possibility, and I'll explain why. No, KL. No, that is right. That is right. So that possibility emerged from the arbitrary selection of this, but that could have been O. And then this one, which could have retained the value of this. So this could have been M when we sort of, I don't know, we took one branch. We didn't bifurcate, we took one branch. This could have been this, and this could have been the same. But we decided to make them different. And in making them different, what we discovered is that this and this were actually forced. And we've actually got two repeated numbers as a result of that. And I hope it's clear, because I think it is clear, that had we gone to had we decided that this one would have been O, this would never have had the ability to be K. This would either have been O or M. And it would have just been an inversion of the logic that we've just done. But what we have to investigate, I'm afraid, is what happens if these are the same. Is it just going to be a rotation? I'm wondering if these were both M, have I effectively just shifted the Catherine wheel round? Because those two are both M. So imagine it was a sort of an anti-clockwise or quarter twist of the grid. Is that what happens? So do you always end up with a difference? Do you always end up with, I think you probably do. You probably always end up with two digits that are the same on the one side of the Catherine wheel, two digits that are the same on the other side of the Catherine wheel that are sort of two away. And what else have we got here then? How many different digits have we used? We've gone as late in the alphabet as O. We haven't got any P's, I don't think. And we've gone as early in the alphabet as I. So I, J, K, L, M, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, 7. So we've used 7 different digits. So we've used 7 different digits which are consecutive, haven't we? Altogether, because we've used all of the letters, I to O inclusive. Oh, and there's one other point I want to make about this, and I don't know if this is going anywhere, but I'm just going to make it, just because I thought of it as I was doing the example. I want to go back and see what happens if this is M, but I'm just going to make another point, which is, oh, these are quincunxes. These quincunxes I've just drawn, these patterns, these sort of X pentomino type, well, they're not really actually X pentominoes, they're X shapes that take into account those digits in any 3x3 box. Each one of these must contain a 5, mustn't it? How do we know that? Well, we worked out that these X shapes were 5 consecutive digits in each case. So if you imagine the digits 1 to 9 and you're going to take a consecutive sequence of 5 digits from the digits 1 to 9, it doesn't matter how you do the cut, you'll always include the digit 5 in the sequence. So 5 is always on the quincunx in these boxes, assuming assuming, and this is the question I think that we're now going to have to wrestle with, assuming that I'm right, that if I made that M when I made it K, it's just a rotation of the grid. Yeah, because I think what's going to happen, and this might be total and utter nonsense, but I think what's going to happen is if you make this M, this obviously then won't be M, but this probably will be K or O, but then this will be the same, but I'm not sure, so we have to work this out. So how are we going to work this out? We're going to have to delete this and delete this, because they were... We're going to have to delete that and these two, and we're going to restore we're going to restore MN and O to this one. And then arbitrarily we said this was M, but if it could have been O, that would be the same effect. And then what we're going to do here is, rather than say, okay, we know that this is Martin Luther King, we know this is not L because that's in the middle of the sequence. Now we made this K and we reached a few conclusions. Now if this is M, I suspect now these two are going to be the same digit, but we will see. Let's just see if we can understand what's going on. So these digits now, yeah, we're going to go upwards. That's interesting. Yeah, because what's going to happen here, look, is now we're at M, but we can't put L on this sequence. So these are going to have to be M, N, O. So these are going to have to be, actually I'm not sure now, M, N, O. This can't be, right, yeah, look at this one. So this can't be N, because if it was N, this sequence couldn't exist, because neither M nor O could be on it, so it couldn't be a consecutive sequence. So this is not N. By Sudoku, it's not M, so this is O. And O is going to have to go to P and Q. So this now, this becomes O, which is what we thought was going to happen. This becomes P and Q. This becomes M and N. Now let's just, is this simply a rotation of what we had before? And I think it is. M has moved round a quarter turn. Obviously K's disappeared and these have gone the other way, but it's the same principle. The M and the O are they're two digits apart. If M is 5, then O is either 7 or 3, isn't it? Depending on, that's going to depend on the givens. But it's definitely 2 apart, because MN and because everything we've done has been based on a sequential ordering of the letters. Now, how on earth are we going to how on earth are we going to do this? Now, let's just double check as well. Have I got a sequence, a series of 7? I think I must have, but I need to check. So, what's the earliest digit now in this sequence? I'm going to say it's K. There's no I's and no J's anymore. So K is the 11th letter of the alphabet, and the latest now is Q, which is the 17th letter of the alphabet. So I've got the 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, and 17th. Yeah. So I've got 7 consecutive digits. So the quincunxes always include, they're either going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in total. Sorry, I'm getting... that's a text message saying, call me if this is legit. No, that's clearly a scam. I'm not calling you. Yeah, Public information announcement. If you get sent text messages that look weird, never ever reply to them. I've got distracted. Don't get distracted. This is very difficult. Right. And again, each of the quincunxes is going to have a 5 on it. Definitely. Oh, I see. Yes, okay. Oh, that's very cool. Right. Actually, that is very cool. That's very cool. I'm just going to show you something now, and then I'm going to back up, actually, because I want to check it was the case in the other thing. I think it probably must be. But look at the digit N in this grid. And you may say, well, we haven't got any N's. That's true, but we have got a lot of pencil-marked N's. And the pencil-marked N's, I think, are in quite interesting positions. They're in those positions. And the question that begs is, where is N in this box? And it's there. And the reason we know it's there is in row 5, it's not in these cells, it's not in these cells. We know in row 5 it's in those cells. And we know in column 5, by exactly the same logic, it's in these cells. So if it simultaneously has to be in these 3 in column 5 and these 3 in row 5, it must be there. So N... Right, N. So N is in the, N is in the middle of the sequence, isn't it? Because the sequence has Q at one end and K at the other. K, L, M, N. So N in this variation, it depends, doesn't it? It depends on whether the sequence of digits that is constituted by the digits K through Q is 1 to 7, 2 to 8, or 3 to 9. But the middle digit is, oh, I see, the middle, yes, the middle digit is a middly digit entropy-wise, so it's 4, 5, or 6. So this digit, which is N, is 4, 5, or 6. Now let's just double check. Let's just double check. We'll unwind and go back to where? Go back. Was it here? Where we had K here. So we made these two different. And I think this is just a rotation of what we've just seen. Obviously, because these are different. Yes, we know we've got 7 consecutive digits here, which are I to O. So the middle digit here should be L. Yeah, this is it's a beautiful. There's some absolute magic going on in this grid. Where is L? So this is the other this is another iteration of the grid that could exist. Where's L in this iteration? It's there, because L's are in these positions, look. So it's exactly the same logic. You end up with L in the middle of the grid there. So the question that we're going to have to grapple with, and this, I think, is where I'm going to get totally and utterly bamboozled, is... Oh, no, I'm not. Well, I've got one thing. Sorry, I know I've stopped talking. I'm just trying... Let's just give me a second about this, because this is... Well, I don't know, actually. Okay, the thing I have seen, which I do think is correct. Right. So let's just recapitulate what we've discovered. We have discovered the bookworm's structure, the structure that exists in the grid because of this diagonal rule, and the way the Renbans work in these 4 boxes, is going to put 7 consecutive digits on the quincunxes. And it's going to make either these two the same or these two the same. And then the other 2 sort of vertices of this imaginary square are going to have 2 of the two digits the same, and they are going to be 2 apart from the first digit we thought of, either ahead in the alphabet or behind in the alphabet. And the digit that lives between, in this case the M and the K, in the other case it was the M and the O, is going to go in the middle of the grid, and that's the middle digit of the 7-cell sequence, and that digit is therefore 4, 5 or 6. Now it's not 5, and the reason I can see it's not 5 is because of the diagonal rule, because the central digit has to propagate itself along the main diagonals, doesn't it? I.e., those 3 digits are going to be the same as those 3 and the same as those 3, because we can't have a 4th digit on any diagonal. So these 3 are going to go there. So if L was 5, it should be appearing in this box, and it definitely doesn't. And L is also going to have to appear on the negative diagonal. But given that we know L is middly, all we can conclude is that L is not 5. So L is 4 or 6. And that means the sequence that we're dealing with now is either a 1 to 7 sequence or a 3 to 9 sequence. Now, somehow or other, these given digits are going to tell us the orientation. Well, no. Well, that's true. They're going to tell us the orientation. So which vertices of the square are the same? That's one thing they're going to tell us. And they're also going to have to actually tell us the digits. Now, I mean, it's absolutely amazing. How again, I say this quite often on the channel. It's one thing to sometimes solve the puzzles. It's quite another to come up with this stuff. How do you come up with this? I mean, it's just mad. So, somehow or other, the arrangement of the givens. See, I was looking at that diagonal, but that looks actually quite... You know, this digit is K or L. Now, K or L could even be the digit 8. But even if it's not the digit 8, if they were the same digit, that would be absolutely fine, wouldn't it? Because I can't have more than 3 on that diagonal. And that one... Oh, so okay, that one's interesting. Well, more interesting than the 8. But, yeah, this is a problem, though, because... Well, if this was the arrangement, so if these two are different, and these two are the same... then this diagonal, either IJ... It's actually, look, we better be careful here, because those are definitely not K. But you can see those two digits are definitely different. There is no possibility of ON being the same as IJ. They are different according to the logic we have imposed on the structure that we've pencil marked. But, unfortunately, 7 could be IJ, or could be this NO. So we can't say that those 3 are different. I don't actually see how we're ever going to know it. Oh, it's not 5s, is it? Because 5 at least has to appear... Oh, it probably is 5. 5 has to appear on the quincunxes. definitely. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? If you don't mind, I'm just going to change these to be small letters so that I can pencil mark, because this could be a 5, I think. Hang on. I just noticed something else. This digit is 4 or 6, we've worked out, haven't we? And it sits between M and K, or in the other version it sat between, if this was N, and it sat between M and O. So one of these corner digits is definitely a 5. Actually, so 2 of them are, because 2 of them are the same. Because imagine this was 4, then K and M are definitely going to be 3 and 5 in some order. If this is 6, these are going to be 5 and 7 in some order. I mean, it might not be these 2, because it could be those 2, but the principle survives. So what I want to do is I want to change that. That's definitely M, but I'm going to make it little, just so that I could pencil mark a 5 into that cell. That's definitely, where's my delete clear? I'll use that one. That's definitely M. Well, it's not definitely M, but it is in this iteration. This is definitely, these 2 are definitely K. And that's definitely, in this variation, L. So 5, which is K, or in this variation it is K or M, I think. So it's one of those 2, is it? And one of these 2. And one of those 3, therefore. One of these 3. I don't know. Is that meant to be telling me something? Let me just quickly pencil. So I think the 5s are in the green positions, I think. And the 5s are always on the quincunx. That's definitely true. Right, hang on a moment. Hang on. No, okay, yeah, we can do that. Right, so we can use this 5 to disprove this. This is not the right arrangement of the puzzle, I think. And the way I'm getting that is actually looking at this diagonal here. Now, I've just said that 5 is on the quincunxes, which I definitely think to be true. In fact, I mean, it just is true, isn't it? And at that point, it doesn't matter exactly where it is. Because that's not the point. The point is, let's look at those 3 cells along this diagonal. This diagonal here. I just want to look at those 3 cells. And I want to say, do we know these 3 digits are all different? And yes, we do. Definitely, don't we? Because we know the 5 is on the quincunx in box 2, so it's not those 2. These are in the same box, so they can't be the same digit. So those are the 3 digits that appear on this orange diagonal. 5 and these 2, whatever they are. Well, so what are those digits in box 4? Well, they are not 5, because they are not on the quincunx. So those digits are the same as those digits. These are the same digits. Don't know what they are. That's a terrible choice of colour. So let's choose something that what could we use that will show up? Yellow. Let's use yellow. Now, Here's my question. Here is my question. What are these digits? I don't see how they can be... there can be any commonality between them. Am I wrong about this? Because let's just imagine that the sequence running in the grid here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we can see that this box doesn't have I and J in it. So let's just say this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll say that I and J are 6 and 7. So this box contains 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this box, because it must have the other digits, it's got the I and the J in it, this is going to be 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These two digits, which have to repeat here, so these can't be 6 and 7, because we've said I and J are 6 and 7. These two have to be 8 and 9, don't they? In this weird world I'm building. Now, these two squares, therefore, are 6 and 7. And these can't be 6 or 7, because I and J are 6 or 7. So those are definitely 4 different digits. And that's not allowed on that diagonal there. It's just, it's too much variation on a theme. But, what's going to happen? What's going to happen if instead these are both M? Is a question that we should ask now. Because if these are both M, I think the quincunxes in these boxes are the same. So these two cells and these two cells are going to be the same again, but then these can be the same on that diagonal, and that's the structure that will work. So I probably needed, there's probably a way to see that more quickly than I've managed to see it. I mean, hats off if you can just see that, look at the grid and just see it. I definitely can't. Cool, I nearly could. I think, that is it. That is it, isn't it? It's just a case of what I could have done is realise that the moment these quincunxes contained different sets, these two, this diagonal's just broken. Well, no, this diagonal can be made to work, but only at the cost of breaking that diagonal. I could have seen that more quickly. I'm sorry, I didn't. So, but this is important. This is important. So now, okay, now I'm going to get rid of all my greens. You know what I'm going to do? Because I don't trust myself to do it. I'm going to get rid of almost everything. I'm going to get rid of almost everything in the grid, except for, so our original presumption that started, was that this was MON. So this is MON. We arbitrarily picked M for that. We can do that again without loss of generality. So this was Martin Luther King, Martin Luther King, Martin Luther King. And now this time we now know, because of this because of the logic that we did in this box and this box using this 5, that this has to be the same. And that was the thing that has taken me a while to appreciate, but I do now appreciate. And now this diagonal, because it can't have L on it, this is OP. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's ON. I was going to say if it was OP, it would be Protoss, but it's not Protoss. It's just Mon, which is a different thing altogether. That's now not M. So this is. I can tell you now, this is going to end up being O. But let's work that out for ourselves. So this is MON. This now can't be M by Sudoku or N because it couldn't have a consecutive sequence on it. So this is O, which means that this, let's be careful, let's make sure that we're in the right ballpark. This is going to be P and Q, OPQ, as can't put N on this diagonal. So this is OPQ, and the only thing common between OPQ and MNO is O. So that is O. These are not O. These are OPQ. And now we shouldn't have the same issue that we had here. By the way, just in case you're thinking, oh, now if M was 5, say, O has to be 7 because it's later in the alphabet. No. No, that's not what this is designed to do. We don't know the direction of travel. We just know we've sort of got a sequence of numbers. I'm not sure whether it goes up or down yet. But now we know that the central digit in this new variation is N, don't we? It lets me write it in. Now, but I think the same logic applies. So N is in the middle of the 7-cell sequence. It still can't be 5, so it still is 4 or 6. That's all the same. The only thing that's changed is that now, I think this now works, this diagonal here. Because those two digits, let's just hypothesize for a moment, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that these, let's say they're 8 and 9, they have to be 8 and 9 as well because they can't be 5 because 5 will be on the quincunx. But now these are 6 and 7 and those are 6 and 7. So we haven't got 4 different digits on that diagonal. That's fine. Now, that's okay. So that's taken me a long time to reach the conclusion. I haven't really. I have made progress. I just haven't made enough progress. Oh, I know. Hang on. Right. So we know that this middle digit here, the N, is 4 or 6. And we know it's spanned by M and O. So M and O are either 5 and 3 or 5 and 7. Now, where are M and O in the middle box? I think they're in those cells. Mo. Now one of these, M or O, is 5. Well, 5 is not in the positive diagonal, because if 5 goes in those three, 5 gets transplanted there by the diagonality rule, and that's going to break. So 5 is on the negative diagonal, which means 5 is in one of those, 5 is in one of these. So that's our first sort of real pencil mark that we've just got there. Goodness me, okay. That's true. So if... Yeah, that's annoying. Well... Well, I wonder, is that annoying? Maybe it's either going to be correct, in which case... I was just thinking, if n was 6, then we know that M and O are 5 and 7, and I could do exactly the same logic I've just done with 5 with 7, couldn't I? Because I couldn't put 7 on the positive diagonal, because that would repeat here. So actually, if n is 6, this is 5, 6, 7, this is 5, 6, 7, this is 5, 6, 7. Sorry, and I know I've stopped talking. I just want to think about that for a moment. So n would be 6, m would be 5. I can see that from Sudoku because this digit would see the 6 in the middle and the 7 down here. So m would be 5. M would be 5. This would be 5. This would be 7. This would be 6. So 7, 6, 5. 7, 6, 5. And it would be, oh, this is, hang on, this is confusing me now. So M, N, and O. So O would be 7. O would be 7. That might be important. For reasons I can't quite fathom. O would be 7. That would be 7. That would be 6. 5. No, I'm not having that. I'm not having that. I don't think that works. I definitely think. I think we can just prove that actually. Oh, bobbins! It's going to be complicated to do this though. I'm going to have to transcribe these again. Hang on. Let's just make these little m. This little n, these little o, because I want to put digits in to show you that this is a problem. Right, so what I was saying is, if n is the digit 6, because it's either 6 or 4. Now if it's 6, because we know that m and o surround in value the digit n, we now know that m and o are the digits 5 and 7. But we know that the 7 is looking at this one. So m is 5. That is something we now know. We now know that o is 7. That is also something we know. In fact, look, we can do these as well. Now, here's an interesting question. This digit, we know that this diagonal is now made up of 5, 6, 7 because of the middle box. We cannot put 5 or 7 on in these cells. So this is 5, 6, 7. This is 5, 6, 7. So this digit is 6. It sees 5 here, it sees 7 here. That puts 5 here and puts 7 in this cell on the diagonal. Now, M, O, N are 5, 6, and 7. This is 5. So what's this? This is 6, isn't it? But now this is 7. Because it sees 5, it sees 6, it is an M or an N or an O, so it is a 5, 6 or 7, but it's meant to be 7, but we know O is 7, so this breaks here. So that's impossible. And that, I think is going to be huge, actually. So let's go back to here. So we have just proved that this is not 6. It's impossible to be 6, so it's 4. So n is 4. Which means M and O are 3 and 5 now. And that's really annoying. Because I've only got one of those actually in the grid. So it's much less helpful than when we had 2 of them. Okay, but all right. But now at least we understand the puzzle, don't we? Because now we know that 4 was the middle of the sequence of 7. So we know that the quincunxes are made up of the digits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 now, and 8 and 9 in all of the in all of these boxes are not quincunxed. They are in the sort of in those cells. But well, actually, the other thing we know, this is a bit weird, but if you look at the diagonals here, well, I mean, obviously, I suppose you'd say obviously because we're repeating on the diagonals, but these are the digits 3, 4, 5 now, because they're always mon. So all of these digits here, so we might as well actually just delete that. They've all got to be 3, 4, 5, and you can never put 4 in any of the middle ones. And we've got to be careful. We know those two are the same because we know they were O, don't we? And we know these two are the same. So 4 has to appear up here. That's true. But 4 also has to appear in all of these as well. Because 4 is the middle digit, it has to repeat. 5. Oh. Oh, is that true? Oh, I see. No, it is sort of the same actually. It's sort of the same as the other way round, but it doesn't seem to be for the same reason. Oh no, I think I've missed some Sudoku here that I could have done the other way. When we were looking at 5, 6, 7, I hadn't seen this, but look, if you look at, let's think about exclusively at the digits 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now, I know in the middle box that one of those is a 5. Let's just say it's this one, just for the sake of exposition. Now, where in this box is the 3? Is the question I want to ask. And the reason I think that is a valid question is in this column now, by putting the 5 here, I now have a sort of 3, 4, 5 triple in those cells. I've got a 3, 4, 5 triple in those cells. So the 3 can't go in these and can't go in those. But look, this 4 is part of a 3, 4, 5 triple as well. So it can't go in those and it can't go in those. So it would have to go here. And of course that logic's totally symmetrical. If that's the 5, it's the same. Those can't be. Those can't be. So that would be the 3. So these are in some order 3 and 5. And now this diagonal is 3, 4, 5. And this diagonal is 3, 4, 5. And these are not M and O in any circumstance. That's weird, isn't it? That is weird. That's definitely not 5. That's definitely not 5. That's definitely not 5. That's definitely not 5. I'm waiting for some sort of epiphany to strike. Oh, Bobbin's epiphany. Epiphany don't live here anymore. Where does Epiphany live? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Is it the same up here? Does that have to be where the 3, 4, 5 goes, or is that just wishful thinking because they all go in that direction? I don't know. Oh, actually, I do know. I know where the 4 goes, at least. That's just Sudoku. I've got a 3, 4 pair looking at that cell. And then the symmetry is telling me if that's the case, I've probably got something else I can look at. And I've got a 3-4 pair looking at that cell. Right, so this is 4. So surely that's 3. Okay, we know that the 3 can't be in a... So the 3 is definitely in one of those 3 cells. I bet it's here, but I don't know how to prove that. If it's there, it's on a different diagonal. Ooh. Is that okay? The answer to that is I'm not sure. There would be an awful lot of 3s in the puzzle. But if one of these was a 3... Well, what I'm looking at is this diagonal here, and I'm trying to work out whether there's a problem or not, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure I know. There's certainly constraint. There is definitely constraint, because if either of these was a 3, I think this has to be a 3, and I think this has to be a 3 as well. The reason I'm saying that is that these 2 cells are definitely not 3, 4, or 5, are they? So if either of these is a 3, these 2 digits are not 3, so they are the other two. The other 2 digits that could possibly appear on this diagonal. So this digit here couldn't be a 4, for example, because that would definitely be a 4th digit. There would be a 3, there would be a 4, and there would be these 2 which are not 3, 4, or 5. So I think this, if either of these is a 3, we can say categorically this is a 3. So actually let's just do some shading in case it helps us. So that would be a 3. So this would be a 3. So this would be a 3. This would be a 3. Because these are the same, which means that would be a 3. By the same logic, that would be a 3. We're getting a lot of 3s everywhere. I think it might be okay. I'm not sure. Three. Oh, hang on, I'm getting confused now. Is this all right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Does that work? So one of these would have to be a 7, because there's a 7 on this diagonal that I hadn't seen. So it might be possible. Oh no, it's Sudoku. Oh, this is embarrassing. Oh dear. Hang on. Okay, no, this is fine, and I have made a boo-boo. Well, not a boo-boo, but I've overlooked this. I've overlooked Sudoku. Forgive me. I mean, I'm 69 minutes into this puzzle, and it's very hard. I'm going to claim it's very hard, so forgive me. But look, I hadn't noticed. If this is 4, which it is, that I've put that one in, haven't I? So neither of... Look, I've already got a triple in this column. I can't have a third of 3, 4, 5 here. I've got a triple in this row here. So that can't be a third one. So that is 3, actually. So these are not... Oh, no 3 in the corner down there. Can we get a 3 in the corner over there? Maybe. I don't know. Let's get rid of 3s from these cells. And let's stare at the grid and try and understand what this means. I'm going to get rid of some. I know these are the same. I shouldn't get rid of those. Yeah, I mean, there is a point on this diagonal, isn't there? Because these two digits here definitely aren't 3. So those 3 digits are the 3 digits on this diagonal. These 2 digits definitely aren't 3, so those 2 digits are the same as those 2 digits. I think that's the equivalent of the 5 logic that we were doing up there. Because these quincunxes are the same, that's fine though. That's absolutely fine. We don't run into a problem. But do we know? I mean, I've got 3, 4, 5 running in this. They're always parallel to each other across the whole puzzle. And I'm looking at this box, and I want to write 3, 4, 5 on that diagonal. I just don't think I'm entitled to. Oh, I tell you what. I can prove. Well, I think I can disprove this one using a familiar trick. If that's a 4, these 2 digits are definitely not 4. So these are the 3 digits on this diagonal, which means these 2 digits are the same as these 2 digits. But now, look, we've got different quincunxes in these boxes. So we're going to run into trouble again. We're going to run into our normal trouble on those. Those are going to be 4 different digits. Let me explain in case you're questioning that logic. So let's imagine this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in which case this is going to be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, with this being a 6, 7 pair. Now, so these 2 digits here, which are the same as those 2 digits, have to be the missing digits from the 7-cell sequence. So they're going to be an 8, 9 pair. Which means these 2 digits are a 1, 2 pair, and these 2 digits can't be a 1, 2 pair because K and L would be a 1, 2 pair, so we'd have 4 different digits on this diagonal. So that is definitely not 4. We can at least... I mean, the 4 is going to be here for reasons I don't quite understand, but that's what's going to happen, I'm sure. Probably. I mean, it's probably Sudoku, isn't it? Probably is. Oh, in fact, I hadn't seen this, but I've got 3, 5 pairs in these cells. So 3 and 5 are confined to those positions in box thingy. So that is also true. But the same, okay, this cannot be 3 or 5 for exactly the same reason it couldn't be 4. So that is definitely true. Yeah. Now if this was 3 or 5, how would you put the others of 3, 4, 5 in the box? Let's put 3 in the corner. No, because it'll explode. I'll put 5 in the corner. This can't be 3 now because there's a 3, 4, 5 in the column. This can't be 3 because there's a 3, 4, 5 in the row. So that could be 4, but 3 couldn't go in the box. So that is not possible. And that same logic... Well, actually, no, the same logic is true, isn't it? If that's 4, you can't put 3 or 5 here. So this is not one of them. So this is 4, and these are a 3, 5 pair. And we've got this parallel weirdness. We've got this weird idea going on. Which, I mean, I don't know what to make of this, but I don't know whether that means this being 3, 4, 5 means that should be 3, 4, 5 in that order or not. I just don't know. I know that's blue. because I've got these 3, 5. I know these are the same digit, so I know that's green. But I don't know what that means. Oh dear, oh dear. I don't know. I haven't got a clue actually. Is it? I wonder whether I've over-focused on low digits, and maybe I should have focused on 8, because 8 is always off the quincunx. 7, I don't know. I don't see how I can do anything with 7, because 7 is definitely a digit that is on the quincunx. 7 is either P, Q, K, or L. Yeah, I mean 8 is yeah, this may be what I should have done. 8 is off this quincunx, so 8 is vertical in this box, definitely. So 8 is horizontal in box 2. 8's in 3 positions in box 3. Which is probably important somehow. If 8 was on that, if 8 was there, look, it would be always on the diagonal, because we know those 3 are the same as those 3, don't we? If 8's there, do we really care? If 8, actually that is a little bit interesting. If 8 is here, look at this diagonal for a moment. I'm not sure it matters. Oh, no, that does matter. That's impossible. Right, I can actually disprove that. I noticed something about it, but I couldn't disprove it. But now I think I've disproved it in my head. If this is 8, what I'm going to say is that there is a 4 or a 5 on this diagonal. But these 2 digits are definitely not that digit, because 3, 4, 5 is a triple here. So that means 8 is in one of those 2 cells on this diagonal, because there can't be more than 3 digits. But 8 is vertical here, isn't it? So this isn't the 8. So we definitely get an 8 in this position. But then in this box you can't put 8 on the quincunx, so 8 would be here in one of these 2 positions. And now, what are we doing with these 2 cells? Neither of which can be 8 now. But on this diagonal, these 2 digits, we can't repeat this digit, because these can't be 3, 4 and 5, these 2 here. 3, 4, 5's already in the box. And we can't use 8, which is one of the other digits on the diagonal. So these would be digits 3 and 4, and that's impossible. So actually, that is not 8. Let's try that one. If that's 8, let's make that orange. What does that do? The answer to that is that one on the same diagonal? That's on the same diagonal as 7. That's interesting. I don't... I don't know. That's certainly constraining. I don't know if it's as constraining as that one was, because, again, if we look at this diagonal now and ask what's on it, we can see there is a 3 or a 4 on it. So these 2 digits are not 3 or this digit, so these are the 3 different digits on that diagonal. So one of these must be an 8. We know there's an 8 vertical here, so we actually know that that's an 8, which means we know one of those is an 8 using our logic. Oh, and now, okay, no, it's simple. I didn't see this. Where's 8 in this box? 8's never on the quincunx. There's nowhere to put it. It's simple. It's simple and beautiful. So that's 8. Oh, hang on. Well, I don't need to give it an orange then. It's just 8. So one of those is 8. 8, but 8 now is on the positive diagonal. So 8 is in one of these cells. 8 is in one of those 2 cells. Yeah. Where's 8 in row 5? And the answer is it's not there and it's not there. So it's in one of those two. Now where's 8 in column 2? And the answer is there. It's got to be there because I've got an 8 here. And this can't be an 8. So 8's there. And now, oh, it's going to be on the diagonal with the other 8. Oh, it is. It's on the diagonal with the other naughty old 8. Okay. Well, that's unsurprising, I suppose. Probably. I mean, that's quite interesting for KL and PQ, isn't it? Because we know that KL and PQ are part of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sequence, so they are not 8. So the 3 digits on this diagonal are KL, PQ, and 8. We know they are not 8, so they are KL and PQ. They are KL and PQ. Now, I don't know if that matters or not. Oh dear, I don't know. Okay, I don't know. I've got this 3, 4, 5. I've got various 3, 5 pairs. I've got... I don't know. I just don't know. What do we think? Do we think this is going to be... I think this is going to be 4, 8, 9. I think for some reason that's hidden in the geometry of the puzzle, 8s and 9s are more restricted than I realise they are. Okay, let's think about this more then. Alright, let's try the 7 just for a moment, because I've noticed something about this diagonal. This diagonal has got this digit on it. Now, these two cells are definitely not this digit, so the 3 digits on that diagonal that are different are those 3. Which means actually this digit and this digit are the same, so that's not a 5. Which still doesn't resolve it, unfortunately. Those are the same, but because I don't know whether this deserves to be blue or whether it could be 4. So I don't think, I've got a 3, 4 pair here though. So that's 5. Right, so this does go, this one goes the same way. So that's not, come on. That's not 3. That's not 3. Now I've got a 4, 5 in this row, so that's a 3, so that's a 5. So all 3 of these go 3, 4, 5 for some reason. There's magic hidden in this grid. There is magic. I mean, the bookworm's brain must just be the size of a planet. Now, come on, Simon. You can solve this. You can do it. Come on. Use your brain. Well, okay, what I was going to say is there's a 7 in one of those. That's where that was before I came across those 3, 4, 5 triples. Yeah, because this diagonal, we said those are the 3 different digits on it, and there's a 7 is one of the digits. So there's definitely a 7 in one of those. Same is true there. One of those must be a 7. That's exactly the same logic. And these are the same. Those digits are the same. But that doesn't mean they're not blue. They could be blue. They could be blue. So, oh dear, I don't know. So, come on, Simon. Use your brain. What's going on? I've got lots of digits in column 2, but 1, 2, 6 and 9 are the digits I haven't placed there in these cells. 1, 2, 6, 9, that's definitely not 1. 2, 6 and 9, I don't think I know anything about those at all, do I? No, I don't think I do. But I don't know. If those two were 1, 2, we would know the order, because we know K and L are either 1, 2 or 6, 7. That is true. That might matter. I don't know. You know, that's another point actually. If they are 1, 2, then 1 in column 2 is placed here. So these would, if those are 1, 2, these would be 1, 2. We'd know the order of those as well. 1 would be in one of those 2 cells. A lot would flow from that. This would be a 1. Is that okay or not? Those would be the 3 different digits on this diagonal, which might be okay. I'm not sure. These would definitely be a 6, 9 pair. This would be a 2. This would be a 1. Oh, so this would have 1 and 2 on the diagonal. That doesn't feel like that can work. Maybe that's not right, though. I'm not sure, actually. I'm not sure. I'm just wondering whether I can disprove KL being 1, 2. It's certainly going to be very constraining, I think. I think it would put 1s immediately in those 3 positions, straight away. And it would put 2s straight away in those positions. And that already feels very difficult. So the 3 different digits on this diagonal, for example, PQ are going to be 6 or 7. So that these are the 3 different digits on that diagonal, but that maybe that can be PQ as well. So that might not be how we can force this to be incorrect. What about that diagonal? Does that diagonal come into its own at all? Or not? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This would be 6, 9. This would be a 7, or that would be a 7 or an 8, I think. But that could be 8. That could be 8. So we could get lots of 8s on that diagonal. That wouldn't hurt the world, would it? And what did we say? We said, oh, actually, that would be yellow as well. So that would be orange. Oh, I'm such a fool. I'm such a fool. Okay, that's embarrassing. Right, but that's very good, actually. So it's completely clear. And I'm delighted about that, because I love it when the logic is crystal. And that's completely crystal and completely fair. So let me show you. If we're saying if K and L are 1 and 2, the point there is that this becomes yellow and this becomes yellow, which is fine. There's no problem with that. But because this is a 1-2 pair, this becomes a 6-9 pair, and that makes this digit the 2. And that's going to be the same as this digit, because this is a 1-2 pair. It's that simple. It's that simple. And that's absolutely mighty. That is mighty, mighty logic, because this might do it. This might do it. Because now, KL, these digits are definitely not 1-2. They are definitely, I'm going to delete them and write in 6-7. Which means PQ, on the other side, they are 1-2. And now, the middle digit of this Renban is 5, isn't it? Because it's got to be consecutive with 6 and 7. And that fixes blue as 5. It fixes green as 3. It puts 4 in the corner, 5. So this, okay, so it doesn't just go 5. No, it couldn't go 5, 4, 3 because the 5s would clash, but that's great. This is all fine. This is all fine and dandy. All we've got to do now, yeah, no, it is still going to go, actually. It is going to go. 4, 5, 4, 3, 4, 5, 4. 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. 5s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And 3s. All done. All done. Right, this is a 6-7 pair, so these don't include 6 anymore. Now, for our next deduction, we will conclude... Oh, no. I was thinking I could do something with 1s, but no. I don't know that I can, actually. I'm not sure. 1, 2, 9. So whatever's not used here gets thrown into the horizontal. And again, sorry if you can all see this and you know exactly what to do. I'm not quite there yet. No. Well, I mean, I can see fatuous things. Like those two can't both be 7. Because I couldn't put 7 in the middle box. But I think if this was 7, and that was 7, and that was 7, is that fine or not? It's not that. Actually, it's probably fine. It gets quite constrained. Does it get quite constrained? It does actually get quite constrained. In fact, that's probably the arrangement of 7s in the final grid. Bother. Yeah, the fact that works is a little bit... Yeah, and look, you get 3 7s on that diagonal, which is probably something that you'd like to get, because there is going to have to be a lot of repetition, isn't there, on the diagonals that we haven't first thought of. Yeah. How do we do this then? Oh, maybe, okay, let's... Oh, we can nearly go back to this diagonal, which has now got, you can see there's a 1 or a 2, a 6 or a 7, and an 8 on it. So that digit has to be one of these two. It's not a 1, so that is 2, 6, or 7. And these two can't be 8. So these are... One of these has to be this one, doesn't it? One of these has to be this one. So if this one and this one were the same, it would have to be that one, which would make it that one. Now I'm getting myself confused again. And then this one would be 1 or 2. Yeah, there's going to be some way of doing this, some clean way of doing it, I'm quite sure. Where if I ask the right question, it'll be completely and utterly clear, like it was here with the 1. Oh, I see a bit. Or do I? Yeah, maybe this diagonal is worth considering. These 2 squares here. I mean, if we just you know, do something ridiculous, let's just label them up. These 2 digits are very, very high. So the 3 digits on this diagonal that are the different digits are those 3 digits, aren't they? But again, I think I've got to be careful about this diagonal as well. If neither of these were 6 or 7, wouldn't I have a problem? Because if neither of these is 6 or 7, they are an 8-9 pair. Which means I've got 1, 8, 9 on this diagonal. These 2 squares are 6 and 7, and those 2 squares can't be 6 or 7, so I would have a problem. So one of these at least is 6 or 7. Can they both be 6 and 7? No, because if they're both 6 and 7, and that's a 1, what am I putting into this square? Oh, I could put 1 in. I could put 1 into one of those squares, but not the other, and it couldn't be 6 or 7. So exactly one of those is 6 or 7, which means exactly one of these is 6 or 7. So one of these is 8 or 9, and one of these is 8 or 9. Hang on. Okay, so one of these is 6 or 7. One of these is 8 or 9. So right. Ooh. Okay. So these 2 digits. So we know we've now established. I want you to focus on those 3 digits. I think I've just logically deduced that the 3 different digits on this yellow diagonal are the digit 1, 1 of 6 and 7, and 1 of 8 and 9. So we have to think about what these are, because neither of those is 6 or 7. So these must be the digit 1 in one of them, which means that is not a 1, and a digit 8 or a digit 9. Unfortunately, there's no way we can have a digit 2 there, for example. That won't work. But that could be a 9 or a 1, I'm going to claim. But 1 is in one of these. And that could be 8 if that's 8. And then that would be 6 or 7. So this digit here is either 1 or 8 or 9. And unfortunately, I don't think I know which. So all I really got from that is that this isn't the digit 1. that's just the world's worst ever deduction. Probably is the world's worst ever deduction. So 2 in this box is definitely in one of those 2 cells, which means that this diagonal is made up of the digit 2 and these 2 digits, one of which is a 6 or a 7 and one of which is an 8 or a 9. So this digit is either 2, 6, 7, 8 or 9. I suppose it's not 7. Oh, no, this is not how to do this, is it? This is too complicated. Yeah, this is too difficult. There's something much simpler. I just have to spot it, and that's obviously an issue, because until I do, I might get myself into a pickle. So, okay, so maybe we can do. Yeah, I know what it might be. I know what it might be. It might be considering things like, can they be the same digit? If those are the same digit, where does that digit go in box 1? It's got to go there, hasn't it? Oh, that wouldn't make it necessarily 7, though. Would that do anything very complicated or very use? Oh, that doesn't quite work. I don't think it works. Okay. There might be something there, though. Let's just have a stare at it for a bit longer. Especially by references to diagonals and things. Maybe there is something we could do. These two digits. What are the digits on this diagonal now? One of them is 1 or 2. I don't think, I'm not sure. Well, there may well be something there. I'm probably getting tired and I can't spot it. Yeah, it's the same there. Look, if those were the same, you can get that digit straight away in this box. But again, this diagonal looks quite useful, doesn't it? Where would that digit go in this box? It would go in one of those two. Do we mind about that, or are we very happy about it? The answer to that is I don't know. The answer is I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's probably a... Yeah, it's just going to be... I've just got to spot the correct diagonal to look at. And I'm well aware of the fact I'm not doing that at the moment. I don't seem to be able to see whichever one it is that's under the most pressure. And I've got to be careful as well, because this highlighting here is absolutely not necessarily true in the finished grid. I'd have that orange digit there, I'd have that orange digit there. And would that be a problem? And the thing is, it may be... Yeah, maybe it... Actually, maybe it comes back into this diagonal as an issue, does it? If these are the same... I know that these don't include 8, don't I? Because 8 is on the positive diagonal. So one of these is meant to be the orange digit, and it couldn't be there, so that it would be there, actually. So, oh, this is that. Right, now we might be getting somewhere, because I'm actually getting a little bit of traction plotting this digit. Yeah, I get it in the corner here. Which might be interesting. I get it in one of those two, one of these two, one of these two. So it would be that one. So it would be a 2, is what it would be. Now, does that give us a problem? 9, 1. This would be a 6. So, I mean, see, the thing is, it could be a crossing diagonal like that, which would now have 6, 4, and 2 on it. Oh, well, that doesn't work. Yeah, I mean, that's really difficult to see. And I'm quite sure there's going to be a different way of spotting that. But if we do look at this diagonal and note, can we spot different digits that have to arise on this diagonal? Clearly 4 is a digit on that diagonal, and clearly the orange digit is a digit on this diagonal. So what are these two? Well, they're not 4, so they have to include orange, and they can't. So that doesn't work. So actually we've proved these are not the same, which actually might not do anything. So those two are the same, and these two are the same. So, okay, so the purple digit is now in those two cells. It's almost certainly here to keep it on the diagonal. And the purple digit is in one of those two cells, and the purple digit is in one of those 3 cells. Oh yes, but don't forget the 8. This 8 can't appear on this diagonal. So purple is in one of those two, definitely. That is definitely true. And purple is 1 or 2. Oh, I think we're close here. I think we're close to spotting something that will be in some way helpful. If I can just do it. Come on, Simon. Okay, come on. You can do it. If you B&Q it. Come on. How do we do this? Or it might be the orange ones that we have to think about. That is another very, very legitimate possibility. Orange has got to be in one of those, but again, it's probably going to be repeating on the diagonal, though. Oh, wait. Nah, nearly. No, good. I've done it. I've done it. Yes, I've done it. Right. I've done something. I've got another digit, because I know that purple is a 1 or a 2. So in this row, I've got a 1-2 pair. So that digit's not 1 or 2. This is 6 or 9, but now where's 1 in column thingy? It's got to be there. So this is a 1. Now, well, look, that's done it. Now that one's a 2. So that one's a 2. So this is a 1. This is a 1. This is placing 1 here because 1 has become purple. Let's actually allow it full chromatism in order to be... Right, now, come on. So 1 is purple. 1 is not there, therefore. So 1 is here, which took the pencil mark of a 7. So 7 is here. That is no longer a 1. That's a 1 by Sudoku. Yeah, this is great. That's a 1 and that's a 7 as well, which totally makes sense along that diagonal. So this is a snooker maximum. It's a 147 diagonal, and it works. Oh, I mean, that's the fact that it seems to be, operating and working is, I mean, it suggests that we are on the right lines, doesn't it? So now we got the 2 as well there. So 2 is now in one of those 2 cells. So that's become a 2 out of nowhere. So that is no longer a 2. And now that's a 2 in the column because I've got a 6-9 pair. This isn't a 2. So the 2s now are getting placed in these cells. Please, please just carry on working. Twos. Okay, so this is going to be very important for the following reason. 2 is in one of those 2 cells. So 2 is in one of those 2 cells. Probably here because of diagonality. Really? That's not a 7, I've just noticed. Oh, that's just because of the 7 I've just put in. In fact, where's 7 in that box is reasonable question. It's got to be not on the quincunx. Oh, which is... Oh, 7 here has done my 6-7 over there. I hadn't noticed that. So this is not a 7 anymore. 7. Where's 7 in box 1? Seems to have to be there. This 7 is doing it as well. That's doing more work. Oh, look, work is getting done. Work is getting done. 7, 7. How many 7s? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All the 7s. Let's look at 6s. Yeah, well, I can't do that immediately, but that 6 is giving me a 6 here, which I will definitely take and bank. That's now a 9 by Sudoku. Oh, and that's on the main diagonal. So the main diagonal is 4, 8, 9. So that's definitely not 6. This has got to be an 8, 9 pair. This has got to be an 8, 9 pair. So 2 gets placed. So 2 is in one of those cells. That digit's become a 6 by Sudoku. This column has now got an 8, 9 pair to place, which makes that digit have to be a 6. My colouring is all over the Swanee now, but never mind. This is an 8, 9 pair. These 2 squares in this column are 2 and 5. Yeah, we can... Oh, no, they're not. I've put 5 in. I never see the givens. Okay, 2, 6 then. Bother. Yeah, that's a 2, 6 pair, isn't it? And that's a 2 or a 6. And that's a 2, 6 pair. So in this row, we've not put in 8 and 9 again. I really hope I'm not going to run into some sort of deadly conundrum at the end of this. This oh, it's a nut. It is 2, 6. No. Oh, okay. No, this is fine. Because this column, that's a 2 or a 6, which means this digit is a 9. So that digit is a 6. Oh, no, that's not good. That's not good. Okay. Let's just tidy up our pencil marks and pray. It's going to have to be... Yeah, it is still the diagonals are doing work. Look at that diagonal. Here's this one here with 7, 9 and 2 on it. Well, it can't have 6 on it as well. So that's 2, that's 6. That's 6, that's 2. That's 2, that's 6. Now somehow or other that's got to also do this 8, 9 pattern I've got in the grid. Okay, so is it going to be... Is it going to be... Yeah, there it is. Wow. Look at this diagonal. It's got 1, 6 and 8 on it. So both of those have to be 8. And that means these are 9. That's 9. That's 9. That's 8. No, this is still deadly. This is still a deadly pattern, so it's got to be more. Okay, 3, 7, 8 on that diagonal, so that can't be 9. So that's 8, that's 9, that's 9, 9, 8, 8. That is one of the best puzzles I've ever done in my life. That is absolutely extraordinary. Look at these diagonals. 2, 6, 4, 2, 6, 4, 2, 6. 7, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6. The logic in the... Oh, it's just... It is just genius. This is absolute genius. It's taken me ages. It's taken me... Is it right? Yes. I mean, it had to be right, didn't it? You can't... You know, it can't not be right when you've gone through 2 hours of absolute, you know, mental anguish trying to get that done. It's just a genius puzzle. Mind blown. The Book Wyrm has got a planet-sized brain. Simon, not so much. But I did solve it, and I'm actually just relieved and delighted to have done so. That is... I'm checking the diagonals as we're looking at. I mean, it must be right. The solution, it said the solution was right, but it still feels magical as you go down the diagonals, checking they all work. Wow. Let me know in the comments how you got on with this puzzle. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.